All right. Thank you. All right. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's go ahead and take care of item number 4. This is citizens to be heard. This is the opportunity for citizens, visitors, and guests to address the City Council on any issue or any item on the agenda in compliance with LGC Section 551.007. City Council may not discuss any presented issue, nor may any action be taken on any issue at this time. Citizens to be heard are limited to 3 minutes each. Attorney General Opinion JC 0169.
No one signed up.
Do you have anybody? Don't have anybody sign up. I'll still go ahead and do the courtesy. Anybody to be heard? Going once. Going twice. All right. All of you can show no comments. Item number 4, appreciate that. Let's go ahead and move on to item number 5, consent agenda. And we'll go ahead and start with A, consider the approval of the minutes, and we're looking at February the 12th, 2025.
Yeah, I make a motion that we approve the minutes of February 24th, 2025 as presented.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Got a second. Okay. Any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh. Yes.
Yes.
All yeas. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Let's go ahead and move on to B, consideration and approval of payment of the bills.
I'd like to start by making a motion to approve the payment of the bills as presented.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? Okay. Any further discussion?
Yeah, I have a question on the Pantera. Did you PC setup? Is that a hardware charge?
The PC setup was for Public Works. It was for a new computer that came in for Austin and setup. Yes, sir.
And that was included the hardware price itself?
That was the computer, the hardware, and
Okay.
yes, sir.
The second item was the Kimley-Horn. Why are we paying that $7,600 for a storm utility?
That is per their contract. She was still helping me a little bit with some of the GIS
So this
work
is all set up?
and the topographic. Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Thank you.
On the square footage.
Okay. Any other item for discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All yeas. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to item number 6. Get a chance to give a highlight. All right. Okay, so one of the things that we started is we wanted to take the time, as we had an opportunity last time to go ahead and highlight folks that made a difference, especially taking care of the coal mine. Good. See, she's smiling. See, she's smiling. She knows what it's all about. So it was one of those situations where we actually were trying to take care of the folks that were in there. We had inside fire department taking care of a few things, and we had an opportunity to highlight them. But then we had somebody out here on 132 keeping it safe, making sure folks were doing and they were staying informed. And Samantha did a great job of being able to do that for us. And we couldn't miss out the opportunity to say thank you, because you were only supposed to be there till 2. And I think she ended up staying there till about 6:30, 6:45. I think she got a chance to even watch us with a hose hosing down the asphalt to cool it down so we could get through. But we just want to say thank you. We appreciate everything you've done and keeping it safe and making sure that folks were taken care of in there and keeping them informed. Because unfortunately on this side you had a lot of people that were asking questions. And we appreciate you being a great ambassador and taking care of all of us. So we want to present this to you and take a photo with council. If you can join me over here, that'd be great. We'll go ahead and hold it like this. Little handshake, and they're going to take some photos. All right. Any comments?
No, thank you. I appreciate it, and I really appreciate the opportunity of working here in the city of Lytle, especially because my chief, honestly, he has given me the opportunity. He said I'm more of Natalia, but he still gave me the chance. So no, I really do appreciate working here and making a difference.
But you are making a difference, and we appreciate you allowing us to be more. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and get the whole crew. Come on in. Come on in. We'll take care of you.
That's all right. We'll move it in a second.
Come on in.
That's all right.
All right. Definitely appreciate you guys joining us. We're just going to make a little half circle right over here. We'll talk in a little bit. Awesome. We got 2 extra ones that can be in there too. So we'll get everybody in there. There we go. And there we go. Awesome. I'll give you the extra, well, there's 3 in here, but we want to go ahead and take care of Dr. B and Coach Wilson in there, and then anybody else in the sense of being able to do that. But I know we got some parents out here. We didn't want to miss out the opportunity. So we wanted to go ahead and take the time, this is the council, myself, being able to recognize you guys just because of your accomplishments and everything that went along with that. So while we're actually taking some photos, we're going to go ahead and have somebody go ahead and read what's on there. Paula's going to help us out. But at the same time, council, if you can stand up in the back, see if we can fit everybody. Dr. B wanted to be here really, really bad. And he wanted to apologize because they have school district board meeting. So I told him we would actually surprise him. He doesn't know we're doing this. So we're going to take photos and then we'll actually show him. So we're going to put him. Let's see. Make sure he doesn't. Make sure you leave a little room for him. He can be like right there. There you go. Photos there. Make sure. There you go. Can you see that? Does that look good? You think it'll get it? I think it looks good. Okay, just go ahead and move back. Like get close to him right there. Just do that. There we go. Okay, go ahead and read. Paula, go ahead and read that.
Whereas the city of Lytle, Texas is proud to honor the Lytle High School Pirate Boys cross-country team consisting of Johnny Alvarez, Yandel Esquives, Brian Montes Rodriguez, Diego Reyna, Lucas Salazar, Nathan Garza, and Adrian Reyna. Whereas the city of Lytle, Texas acknowledges the great accomplishments under the leadership of coaches Gilbert Reed, Sebastian Benavides, and Frank Costello, especially as the boys were recognized by the state champions in the last 3 years with the support of Superintendent Dustin Reichert and the police director Lori Wilson. Coaches led the cross-country team to be state champs for over 184 schools across Texas. Whereas the city of Lytle recognizes their accomplishments of winning first place in team competitions at Meade and Horseville, Madera, Uvalde, McNeil, Islander District 28, 3A, Region 4 3A, and State 3A, becoming 2024 Gold State champions, along with earning second place at Church, Clemens, and Medina Valley meets, where they have completed against higher level 4A, 5A, and 6A high schools. Whereas the city of Lytle recognizes senior Johnny Alvarez for his accomplishments between 2022 and 2024 by having 4 district titles, 3 regional championships, 1 regional runner-up, a state recognition for 4 straight years to include 2 individual state medals, along with being highlighted by the Express News, and an all-area runner for 2 years. Whereas the city of Lytle recognizes senior Yandel Esquives for his accomplishments between 2022 and 2024 by being named all-district for 3 years, all-regional for 1 year, and 3-year letterman at state level. Whereas the city of Lytle recognizes juniors Brian Montes Rodriguez, Diego Reyna, and Lucas Salazar as 2-year state letterman winners, and along with sophomore Nathan Garza as all-district and freshman Adrian Reyna.
Well, now I got to do my part on here. Now, therefore, I, Ruben Gonzalez, by the virtue of authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Lytle, in recognition, and therefore do hereby proclaim the city of Lytle, Texas reflects this proclamation in the order to recognize the many 2024 accomplishments of Lytle ISD boys cross country team. And this is both signed by our city secretary and myself on the 24th of February 2025. This within itself is nothing small. And first of all, I just want to make sure that we take the time and be able to thank the parents for their dedicated support. I know some of you had to get up early in the morning, right, Coach? Yep. And we had to bring them over and be able to take care of this as part of the commitment, but it was great being able to see them out there early in the morning every single day and getting prepared. But the leadership without itself, the coaches, Coach Reese, you guys are just unbelievable. You know, from seeing you out here every morning to actually seeing you out there, Coach Benavides on bike, back and forth in different competitions, and just encouraging them and being able to do that. The biggest satisfaction was being at some of the meet. I didn't get a chance to be there at all of them. But it was great when I could actually see it in the coaches' eyes, and they knew, okay, this is good. We're in a very good position. And I think this is just a huge accomplishment of you all being able to take it to the state. And not only once, Johnny, how many times? Twice. There's a lot of schools that don't get a chance to be able to do that. So all of you have made a huge impact. And a little special thing for our seniors, we really appreciate everything that you guys have been doing, because you have laid the foundation and you actually laid the opportunity for us to be able to continue to make a difference and highlight Lytle. And it's a great feeling when you walk on the field out there and it's like, oh, there's Lytle, and everybody's talking about it. But that's because of what you guys have done, not only out there while you're running, but also as ambassadors of our city and going around and highlighting what it's all about. So it's a small token of appreciation on behalf of the council and all of us. We just wanted to give you present you with a proclamation and just thanking you on behalf of the whole city. So how about a round of applause? Another photo, or we're good? We're good? Parents? How many parents we got here? We got a few? Come on up. Real quick. Get all the parents. You're going to get them on the sides over here. Come on up, you're good. Just on top. Just go on the top and just squeeze in there. There you go. Just get in there. Look at everybody. Come on up. You're good? Anybody else out there? One more. There you go. Perfect. Okay, here we go. Make sure we can see you.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
All right. Congrats again. Appreciate you all. Appreciate it. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. Thank you for the opportunity. That's awesome. All right. So this is our relationship with the school district, so we have a little bit of fun. It's all good. You want one of those? You want really the same. Put it in a car and work around like, alright. Alright. Well, thank you, council. It's important for us to be able to do that and highlight students' huge accomplishment being at the state level. Alright. We'll wait a little bit, get started here, and jump right into the open session. Okay, let's go ahead and jump right into number 8. This is the open session. Take action on items discussed. 8, consideration and possible action concerning the resolution of number 2511, a resolution of City Council of City of Lytle, Texas, approving the acquisition of property by Atascosa Central Appraisal District, providing for incorporation of preamble and providing an effective date. Zach?
Mayor and Council, we have Brandy here with Atascosa Appraisal or Central Appraisal District to give her presentation, and then of course if there's any other questions for me on the resolution half, I'm more than happy to answer. But I'll turn it over to Brandy as our representative, and she'll come up and tell you what's going on.
Awesome.
So, I would like to preface that I know we've talked about this, but this is not the Medina one that we actually talked about. This is Atascosa County or Atascosa Appraisal District. So just wanted to make sure that there's a distinction there. So, yeah.
And while she's setting up council, we also have Kim here in the audience, and she's our representative as part of the board, so this is good.
Good evening. I'm Brandy with the Appraisal District. Have y'all had a chance to review this, or would you like to go through the slideshow, or do you want me to just hit the highlights? Highlights? All right. So we are looking to purchase the building we're currently leasing. Right now, our rent goes up every year $1,000. So for 2025, our total lease agreement for the year is $236,000. It's $8,500 a month with a $14,000 a year off the market fee. Next year, it goes up $1,000 more. So it goes up to $248,000 a year. With what we're looking at, we're working with government capital to purchase, and we're looking at a $2.5 million purchase price, not to exceed 2.5. And this is a purchase of the building and a retrofit. Currently, half of our building was an Anytime Fitness. It looks like an Anytime Fitness with a conference table. We're looking to fix that, add some room for growth, some office, some cubby spaces. It's a 5.99% interest fixed rate for 20 years. That comes up to $220,506 annually. That's already a savings. And so if we were to have gone into this for 2025, it would be a $15,493 savings across the board. For the city of Lytle, for your portion of the pro rata, which is pretty small, you're looking at an estimated savings of $136, up to $242. It's not huge, but it is a little bit of a savings. If we were to stay in our current lease agreement, it will continue to go up $1,000 a month per year. So locking this in now, I think, is a great deal. It'll give us a home. We're really happy there. I know we've moved a bit with our issues, but we're happy with it. We would love to be there. This is one of the weird ones where it does require approval. So that's why I'm here asking if y'all could support it, and if y'all have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Is that the place across the street from the elementary?
Yes, sir.
And there's a game warden there or something? No, the trucks.
Those are our trucks. They look like.
Oh, those are all y'all?
They look like. They do look like.
They look like game wardens.
Yes, we get those
Okay.
calls, but that's us.
All right, I know you're at.
Yes, sir.
I'm just ignorant on the fact, where do you get your income? Where do you get your money to pay the bills?
Every entity pays a portion of our budget. So dependent on the value that we bring you, that's the portion of the budget you pay in. So the city of Lytle, the school, Atascosa County, Pleasanton ISD, those are our two larger ones. Y'all pay a portion into our budget.
So the biggest thing is there's savings involved by purchasing
Yes,
versus
sir.
continuing leasing.
Correct.
And that gives you the flexibility because you're purchasing that you can actually make modifications to the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Are the county commissioners final approval on this? Or?
I've met with Commissioners Court. They unanimously approved.
Okay.
So it's the same. They have the same vote that y'all do.
Yeah, so it's 3/4 of every entity that the taxing jurisdiction, they need approval from 3/4 of those taxing jurisdictions to proceed with the process.
Kim, any inputs or anything as our rep?
We've just had a lot of things. I've been with them now like almost 17 years, and we've started out in Poteet, moved to Pleasanton, had issues with that school building there that we were in, and then now moved to this one as a temporary solution as it started, longer period. And it is a very good, I think, long term. It allows us for some future growth, which we desperately need. And I do think it's a good move on our part. And I hate to spend the money, but I think it's something that we definitely need.
Okay.
So for clarification, I know you already mentioned this, but the money that's allocated to the appraisal district, that money won't change. So in other words, the taxpayers will not be seeing a direct increase because of this purchase.
The savings is only on that portion of your pro rata. we don't know what it's going to look like. Our budget season is coming up. I'll be back in a few. But as far as yes, sir, correct.
And then on your drawings, is this the current state or these are proposed?
These are proposed. These are
because you mentioned that you're kind of restricted as far as what you can do currently.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's nice.
And it's got some growth and so.
Yeah, the breakout rooms are always good in the appraisal district, just so they can actually talk to the different residents,
Sure.
be able to handle those situations.
Do you know how old the building is right now?
It's 2013, I believe. 2013.
Oh, it's that new?
It is, yes, sir.
All right, council?
Mayor, I'd make a motion that the council approve resolution number 25-11 as presented. So today's date, February 24th, 2025.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, got a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All you.
Thank you. I appreciate your support.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Kim, thank you so much for the inputs. Appreciate that.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and move on to B, consideration and possible action concerning request from Stephen Ayala regarding the utility bill adjustment for property located at 63-260 Highway 132.
Council, Mr. Anaya came in last council meeting to talk to you about his request, and the copy of the letter is actually attached in your minutes there. The two cycles ago in the reading, we had a really high bill come in for Mr. Anaya, who lives out on 132 by coal mine. We immediately sent Pete out there, and Mr. Anaya doesn't live at this property. He's only here once every couple of weeks. And Pete said that a tree had fallen on the spigot by his house and just inadvertently turned the water on. There wasn't an actual accident. It wasn't a leak. It was just a really freak situation where the tree limb had fallen and hit the spigot and turned it on, and it ran for quite some time. Mr. Anaya's bill came up to almost $5,000. That was a pretty substantial amount of water. So we were looking for a little relief for his bill, so we went back to the ordinance that we passed last summer to see if maybe we could go forward with that with the council approval.
Okay.
He has been here since 2019. His average bill is $30, and he has never late on his bill.
And what's the proposed?
The proposal that we had passed on the ordinance was 50% of the bill, a max of 50%. I would also ask if I could please give him a long-term payment plan on this.
And
Mr. Anaya is here. Yes.
he's okay with that?
Sure. Come on.
Yes. Yes, any help would be greatly appreciated. It's just something that I didn't expect. I kind of thought, again, it was going to be in the 500 because one time it did freeze and the water heater froze actually, and the bill was like $600, and that's kind of what I was expecting. So when I saw this, I was thoroughly shocked.
Pete turned it off immediately, but it had been running for days.
And so now I just turn it off at the meter, and when I come in, I turn the meter on. So if anything happens, it's not going to affect the water.
Got it.
Yeah, that's very important. And so any resident that may be going on vacation, I think the mayor had mentioned that once, even if you're going on vacation for a week, it'd be safe, to be able to shut off on your side of the meter, not the city side.
I think if he had lived anywhere else because when you go into coal mine, you have to go back to the right to get to Mr. Anaya's property, which really isn't on Diaz Street. Nobody really could see it. I think anywhere else in the city, we would have been able to. Yeah, yes, sir. Mm-hmm. So it's just an unfortunate situation.
We never saw that on the meter when we were checking.
Well, we would only check it's a raise. Yeah, once a month. So we didn't see it till after we got the reads back. And as soon as we saw the high read, we sent Pete out immediately. We knew about it, and then we, of course, called Mr. Anaya. He lives in Helotes.
Yes.
Mayor, I make a motion that we go ahead and approve the bill adjustment for Mr. Anaya.
Okay.
Effective February 24, 2025.
With the adjustment of the
50%
amount?
50% amount and the payment arrangements per our utility
Austin, is that right?
Do we need to mention the amount or anything?
Yeah.
We're good? I mean, the terms, nothing? We're good?
No, I mean 50% of the total here is
Okay.
fine. Yeah, and then a payment plan separate. You don't necessarily need to approve it. That's up to.
Okay.
Oh, so okay. You got a second? Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Oswald,
Thank you.
and Zach, okay?
Yes.
And take care of that.
Yes.
Be good. I
Thank you.
appreciate the adjustment just to prevent it for the future.
Yes, thank you, gentlemen.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you, Lynette. Appreciate all that homework on that, too. We're having problems with video? Uh-oh. Okay. We'll have to have Pete do some drawings. They put it on the video. You ever do that? I know. Know what's going on. Whether it's laptop or something. I'll have to get to those ones. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to C. This is consideration of possible action concerning Resolution 2512, the resolution of City Council of City of Lytle, Texas, authorizing the adoption of the amendment to the resolution number 24-04, the resolution authorizing the submission of the criminal justice JAG grant.
Mayor and Council, so back in 2024, we approved the submission of the JAG grant via Resolution 24-04. We got word from the governor's office that they wanted us to amend, in order to proceed with funding, amend that particular resolution to also include the funding year of FY 2025. And so that's what this amendment is doing. That's it.
Oh, I see. It's just that one section of whereas.
Yep.
Okay, so we did it already. We just need to put it on.
Correct, yeah.
Council?
Yeah, Mayor, I make a motion that we approve Resolution 2512 as presented in today's date, February 24th.
Got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second? Second. Okay. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate that. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you so much. Motion carries forward. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to D, consideration and possible action concerning resolution number 2513, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Lytle, Texas, approving the terms and conditions of an agreement by and between the City of Lytle, Texas and Kimley-Horn and Associates for the on-call engineering services, providing for incorporation of preamble and authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate such an agreement and providing an effective date.
Mayor and Council, on this particular, this is the master service agreement that we've been entering with the 4 different firms that we selected for engineering services. The one thing I will note on this particular agreement, it was reviewed by our attorney, and there's one, the language that was provided in the agreement is everything that Austin reviewed and basically suggested. However, under the limitation of liability, the Kimley-Horn is asking for a slight change to that, but it's really, Austin said basically, it's really a council decision if you're comfortable with that change or not. I don't know if you want to go through what that change.
And this is in each, you're going to see this same point brought up by each of the engineering contracts, but there's 4 of them out right now. All of them included similar language. It basically is limiting recovery by like a third party that if something were to go wrong, to, I want to say it's like twice the value of the contract.
Yeah, so
they're all a little different, but Kimley-Horn's is...
Yeah, Kimley-Horn's is shall not exceed twice the total compensation received by the consultant under the IPO or $50,000, whichever is greater.
So
what they're asking is $500,000 was the biggest difference, I think, on that. So instead of $50,000,
and so
add another zero.
Limits recovery, ties it to the value of the work they're doing. In other words, if they did $10 of work that led to $100 of injury, you'd be capped at $20. So it ties it to the value. It's favorable to the engineering firm, and I understand why they want it in there. But on the city, obviously, it's
Nothing affects.
What's our current policy now?
So I think in all the other ones we changed it to the $50,000. I know that Cobb Finley.
I anticipate all of them to.
Cobb Finley was fine with it. I mean, it's really them just pushing back on it. So I think at the end of the day, they want the contract. So I don't want to speak for them. They probably will keep it at 50,000 and say, okay, we're fine. But they're obviously, they got to request it, right?
Yeah, and insurance is going to still come into play, and that's limited to pretty specific circumstances too. It's specifically a third party. It's not the city suffering an injury and being able to come after the engineering firm. It's for like a third party injury that happened.
Like they engineered a project, we did the work, and then that third party comes after them for the engineering work that they completed as part of that project. So that's what they're trying to cover.
But by increasing that coverage, that liability coverage, that puts the city more at risk.
It puts the engineering firm more at risk, certainly.
If it goes from 50 to 500?
No, I'm saying if you were to reject
keep it the way it is.
And reject that provision, then it leaves the engineering firm open to, like you were saying, a third party coming back and trying to get 100% recovery.
Yeah, I think Cobb Finley was fine with the 50, if I'm not mistaken, and the Dunaway.
Do you need to? So if we make a motion, do you need a motion to state that?
No, it's written the way it is. So
the way it's written, it's already
correct.
The way
And then I'll just be communicating to them that that's not
so the motion would be just to leave it the same?
Yeah, to approve the resolution as is. If that's what y'all wanted to do, I will present to them that wasn't favorable to make that change. If
they were to insist on it, it'll come back to y'all again.
So the new numbers are not
50,000.
Correct. It's 50,000. Correct.
If it's not favorable to the city,
limiting it to the 500 is actually more generous to the city. The 50 is less generous in the sense that you have to envision a third party down the line, like someone doing construction work, right? And somehow, based on the engineering that one of these companies does, the construction company suffers an injury, right? Or they build it according to spec, and then we come out this, the city's not happy with them, or someone's not happy with them, and they want to pull in the engineering company and say it's not our fault, right? We did it like the engineer said. All these provisions that we're talking about are just limiting that person's ability to come after the engineering company.
So their liability is moved from 50 up to 500.
Correct. We're trying to cap their liability at 50, and they're saying we want more.
We would, in the other contracts, we struck it.
Us, right? But like the 500. They did, and I see what you're saying, and it's like, okay, well, you want us to be at 500 to help cover you because whoever you hired messed up, or whatever you did said it wasn't going to work, right? So how does that, how do we put more back on them for hiring a third party to do that work?
So it's again, it's limited to pretty specific circumstances. So, if they mess up, right, their insurance is going to step in, and there's no limit to any of that, right?
We make the motion to leave where we're at, because if they hire somebody else, that's going to go on their insurance to fix or to whatever damages they hired that third party for, versus protecting us on that part. It goes on them, correct?
Yes, and like in the case of the other one that has the 50,000, that's on the low. If you approve, if it's 50,000 or double the value of the actual work they're doing, right? You'll quickly, one project you can quickly exceed the 50,000.
Yeah, it sounds like they're trying to cover them as, hey, raise to 500 if something happens because of who we hired. But that's on them. If they hire a third party to come do the work and it's their fault, then they cover that, versus, hey, we're going to up ours to help them cover what they messed up or what they tried to put on the city. So I say leave as is, and whoever they hire, their general liability or their whatever their contracts they see the third party, they got to cover their side of it.
I just pulled up this section.
Just for clarification.
Yeah. I mean, they're asking for it, so we wanted to bring it to y'all's attention. So everything else they agreed to, change-wise. So
they're asking for this. What benefit is it to them to increase it so much?
It benefits them because they're less liable on their
They don't
end.
have to cover so much.
If it increases, they're not going to have to cover the costs. So,
It's almost like them brokering it out.
Yeah.
That they're brokering it out to somebody else.
I mean, in fairness, right? Like we would, Austin would probably go to bat for us if it was something we're trying to enter, and do the same thing. So,
This is just one of those points where I'm giving you like all the hard, pro city advice, which is we don't like this at all, right? You prefer that not to have any limit on any kind of liability. From the engineering firm's perspective, they'd rather not go into a deal where they have no cap on what their exposure should be.
And that should be part of their license where they're covered, and they have to have a coverage of so much for their home.
And again, insurance covers a lot of that. This is
It's just the venues.
it would come up in situations where you're outside the scope of insurance, you've exceeded those caps, and you're
Yeah, if they're at $1 million and we're going to cover 500, they cover 500, we cover 5, and they're done. They don't have to cover the whole million. So, correct.
Council?
Yeah, I make a motion that we stay where we're at with the amendment, or with this motion.
As presented.
As presented.
Okay, so you're for resolution number 25.
Well, in this particular one, is it 50
It's
or
50.
5? Okay. And
I
they
kept
want
it
to
at
take
50.
to 5.
they want to go to 500. I kept it at 50 in the language that's presented.
Make the motion to stay at 50 and not amend to the 500.
That's correct.
And then I think I think we might have this flipped. Y'all would like it to be 500. The higher number is better because it is more. It's increasing the liability put on the insurance on the engineering firm. So if it's kept at 50, that they only are ever going to have to pay $50,000 on it.
But you kept
this,
it. You kept it at
circumstances.
50, though.
I think that was part of the contract getting.
Oh, okay.
The copy and paste that we ran into. Their standard.
So right now,
For Kimley-
let me just keep it flowing right now. So we have a motion on the floor for us to go ahead and keep the resolution as is, number 2513. So I have a motion on there. I'm going to ask for a second, and if nobody seconds it, then we'll go back. So do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, got a second. Okay, now we're in discussion.
This is part of this is where Zach and I have. There's 4 different contracts, all look very similar, but have important differences, right? The Kimley-Horn contract, they're trying to go back to their original language because there was some in shuffling these back and forth. There was 2 of them got crossways, and it threw Kimley-Horn off because we sent them back a contract with language they didn't send to us, and they were like, "Are you proposing this, or is this an error?" It was an error, so they're trying to go back to their original language. Which, if it's 500,000, that's better for the city than 50. Which the 50 language is from other engineers, I think from Cobb Bentley. Yeah. In all of these contracts, I'd push back on that language, but the one I have the least issue with is the Kimley-Horn one because it's the most generous.
So going back to my original question, what is the 500?
It is you're talking about after insurance and after.
No, what is that 500 number versus the 50?
It is a cap on their liability for services provided under the contract to a third party.
So if there's 100,000, well, it's 500,000, right?
Well, they're asking for 5.
So if it's $1 million error, the cap is 500,000. That's all they're liable for. Am I thinking wrong?
It's the greater of 2 numbers, 500,000 or double the value of the contract of whatever services.
So if we had like a $3 million project,
They're capped at 5.
then they're capped at either 500 or twice the amount of
If you pay them $1 million under this contract, their cap for damages is $2 million.
Yeah.
Right? It's double the value.
Correct.
The floor is really the less important.
They hire the third party.
The way these contracts are going to work, like 50, you're going to exceed 50 pretty quickly. The 500 they have in there, that's just Kimley-Horn's preference. But again, if you're dealing with a major infrastructure project, you will probably go over that as well.
Oh, I mean, easily.
Yeah.
So if the city was to keep it at 50, Kimley-Horn has their own contract. They can make it 500.
They're not going to object to that. They're going to say, fine, 50 is better for us anyways, because it's from some other engineering firm.
So
yeah.
Not knowing what you're talking about, my question is, what does the attorneys recommend?
If you're going to leave this language in here and they want to change back to 500, that's fine.
And you're saying
Or
it's better
double
for the
the amount.
city to be at 500?
If we're choosing between 500 and 50.
Yeah.
Yes.
I really need to know because I don't understand.
Yeah, same
I
here.
really need to know, and being the attorney for the city, I need for you to tell us what's best for the city, 50 or 500.
500.
Okay.
Yeah.
So should we disapprove this and send it back to them?
So
We vote on it.
we just going to vote. I'm going to put it out there, and we can just go ahead and do it to the normal procedure, and then have another motion. And
There's a little bit more clarification, because again, I'm confused also. Like, if we set it at 500, and they go and hire somebody, and they something false,
If it qualifies under this, yeah.
they're capped at 500, and we're covered the rest because they're capped at 500.
No.
They're the ones who hired them and have created the plans to do those services, so we're at fault for the rest of it because they're capped at 500.
It is not that simple.
Well, of course
it's the
But I'm saying that's where where we stand as of right now, correct?
all the language in because all of these contracts have the same provision in them. All of them give two numbers. They say we're going to cap our liability under this contract at either X number of dollars, 50,000 or 500,000, whatever it may be, or double the value, the work we do. So as soon as you exceed the 550 or the 500, whatever that number is, you've really, as soon as you exceed half that, you're already triggering the second part of that provision. So you're dealing with the greater of whatever the service is provided. Yeah. So if it's at 50,
The 500,000 is the floor.
Yeah.
So if it's a million, they're going to come double the million.
yeah, then the 500 goes out the window and if it's 50, then as soon as they do $25,000 worth of work, well now double that is already equal to 50. So every dollar after that, you're raising that ceiling.
So that's why you're saying 500 is better for the city.
Yes, between the two, it's the less prejudicial.
The city's going to push going forward. Because you said our right now our normal is 50.
Yeah, well, most of the time it's driven by whatever, like most of the time we take the contractor's input, like they provided their, base MSA. Obviously we reformatted it how we wanted it, but ultimately it goes to Austin to go through first and, double check that. So, they could, let's say Cobb Finley, I know we already approved that one, but, Cobb Finley comes in, they could want 50 rather than 500. So it's driven by...
To be uniform.
Yeah, we can definitely adopt that going forward if that's what y'all want. Is that 500? Correct. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so the motion that we have, and we need a vote first, okay, before we relook or anything, is for us to go ahead and leave it at 50 as it was presented in our packets.
Correct.
Right there. Okay, so we have the motion on there. So, all those in favor with the current motion, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, got two. All those against?
Nay. Okay.
Okay, so the motion doesn't pass. So let's go ahead and we'll put it out there. If we want to go ahead and make another motion,
If there was going to be different motion,
Yeah, the motion would be to increase this
It would be
resolution
to-
to the 500.
to grant the consultant's request to change this to
Or
500.
the attorney's request.
I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 25-13, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Lytle, Texas, approving terms and conditions of agreement by and between City of Lytle, Texas and Kimley-Horn Associates Incorporated for on-call engineering services, providing for incorporation of preamble authorizing mayor to execute any and all necessary to effectuate an agreement and provide effective date today of February the 24th, 2025, and to also include increasing the amount from 50 to 500,000.
okay, got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Got a second. Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Aye. Okay. Got all ayes. Okay. Motion carries forward. Thank you, council. Thank you, Austin, for the clarification.
Sorry, but this is confusing, but
It's not good.
it's difficult to make it less complex.
This is what it's all about. You take your time and make sure we take everything into consideration. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to E, and this is consideration of possible action concerning resolution number 2514, a resolution, City Council, City of Lytle, Texas, approving the terms and conditions of an agreement by and between the City of Lytle, Texas, and Ace Construction, LLC, for water system improvements for CDB 23-0100, Texas Community Development Block Grant, Texas CDBG project, providing for incorporation of preamble, authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate such contract, and providing an effective date. Zach.
All right, so Mayor and Council, back in the beginning of January, Council did award the competitive sealed bid to Ace Construction for the CDBG project. This is the 12-inch water line that will be going from about 2790 on Main Street to out towards Coal Mine, and reconnecting everybody that would be on that existing pipe that's out there. We just had a meeting with the contractor and everything for the CDBG program and our GrantWorks individuals, and so they are ready to get started. They're actually issued a notice to proceed starting March 10th, and so we finally have the contract documents in place, and so that's what this resolution would be, is approving the contract with Ace Construction now that we've awarded and everything is good to go. So. I will note that I did put full amount already budgeted. If you all recall, back when you awarded it, the city will be on the hook for 5% of the total cost of the project, which comes out to about $25,000, whereas the rest is being picked up by our grant funds that we have through CDBG. So very minimal costs on that particular project. So.
So in the packet you attached the resolution.
Yes.
In your notation, you said due to the file size, and that would be for Exhibit A.
Correct.
And that's a soft copy?
I'm sorry?
That's a soft copy you have of Exhibit A?
Yes.
Can you send it to all the council members?
Yes, I can.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 25-14, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Lytle, Texas, approving terms and conditions of an agreement by and between City of Lytle, Texas and ACEE Construction, LLC, for water system improvements for CDB 23-0100, Texas Community Development Block Grant project, providing for preamble, incorporation of preamble, authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate such contract and provide effective date today of February the 24th, 2025.
Okay, got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second? Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, the only thing on this one is just Zach to make sure we work with Richard and getting the information out.
Definitely.
Folks, I know a lot of it is just going to be along the road.
Yeah.
It won't be until the very end that we actually start turning valves and doing all that stuff.
One thing I will note under this is that because it is the type of funding that it is, you're going to see some different things that you would normally not see probably in some of our projects around town. So there'll be actually a board where they got to post wage rates, and I mean it's federal funds regarding this. So I mean that's where you're going to see a lot of activity that you normally wouldn't see on that. But we're working with the contractor to make sure everybody's notified way in advance. Working on that notice this week so we can get that out to them for everybody along that roadway. And then as the project continues, Ace Construction is very much aware. They're the ones that did the 3175 re-hookup when the IHOP was going in, and we were very pressed on letting people know when we turned people off over there, so they understand our expectation on that. So.
Pete? Pete says thumbs up. Yes. I just want to make sure. Anything else for a discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, all yeas, motion moves forward. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Thanks, Michael. Yeah, consideration and possible action concerning ordinance 25-05, an ordinance of the City of Lytle, Texas, declaring unopposed candidates the May 3rd, 2025 general election elected to office, providing for incorporation of preamble, canceling the May the 3rd, 2025 general city election, providing for a severity clause and an effective date. Zach.
All right, so Mayor and Council, as the caption indicated, we only received 2 applications. Those are for the existing members sitting in seats District 2 and District 3. District 1 was also up for election, but we received no applications for that. So I kind of, in the data sheet to y'all, conveyed kind of next steps or what would need to happen. Obviously, we can have a conversation about that if y'all would like, but obviously the 2 individuals will be sworn in back in May. Miguel will serve until that time, and then council would appoint somebody to fill his position, and that would be filled until the next May election, general election that we would have. And so then at that time, you'd have seats 4, 5, mayor, and District 1 up again at that time. And so, yeah, so you would serve just for 1 year. So
Next 2 years.
All that being said, because of that being the case, we can still go ahead and cancel the election. We don't have to hold the election, and then obviously declaring Mr. Hughes and Mr. Emory as elected. So.
Council?
Yeah, Mayor, I make a motion that we approve ordinance 25-5 as presented with today's date as the effective date.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Second. Okay. Any further discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Yeas. Thank you, Council. Appreciate that. And we'll get back with you with further information on how we actually take care of that portion. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to G. This is a consideration of possible action concerning the 2024 racial profile report by the City of Lytle Police Department. Richie?
Yeah. I don't even look on the agenda. So we got more numbers here. Hopefully it won't be as confusing as 550. I don't know. Do we have it up there?
Yeah, he's
So, a little background. Of course, 2002 is when these first became required by law. If you go to our website, I did have the other ones on there, but I'm trying right now. It looks like it only goes back to 2017, so that'll give you some historical difference. You can get off historical observations. You can get off the website. The format's changed a little bit. Now they have one. Basically, I can go on the Law Enforcement Commission, fill out. It also creates the analysis. So that's been the last 4 or 5 years. So anyway, so back to 2002 is when we got the historical data on this. Okay, let me see what I can do here. It's probably going to be hard to see it up there like this. So key things we'll look at just at the very end of it is were there any complaints on racial profiling in 2024? And the answer to that is no. Now again, that's specific to complaints of violating the racial profiling law. Does not mean, it has nothing to do with if an officer stopped you and violated policy, was rude, or whatever the case may be. This is only if they violated the particular provisions of this, and we didn't have any complaints on that. Kind of hit on the high points in comparison a little bit to 2023, our last year's. We had a total of 4,310 stops, traffic stops that data was collected from, and in 2023 we had 4,640, so about 300 difference. Go down there. One of the next one here deals with the location of the stop. 2024, about 50.35% of the stops were on city streets, and about 49% on state highways. State highways being 2790 Main Street, 463, actually McDonald Street out here. Back to 2023, almost identical, 50% and 49.81. So that was kind of interesting that it appears to that stayed the same. Next column there, I'm kind of just referencing 23 to give you an idea here, but next column, if you go down to actually the race or ethnicity under the analysis, and they break these down, in these 5 categories. So you had 3,502 Hispanic Latino, 10,021 white, 103 black, 12 Pacific Islanders, and 2 Alaska or Native American Indian. So I got off. This is going to happen. That's 2023. Let me go to 2024 real quick. 3,305 Latino, 899 white, 98 black, 8 Pacific Islanders, 0 Alaskan Native Americans. So percentage is very close. So this year, 76.68% Latino, 20.86 white, and then the others are fairly insignificant and the same. For last year, 75%, 0.47, 22% white. So fairly similar there. Gender, 2023, 1,689 females, which was 36.4%. This year, 37.19%. So again, the numbers there are all pretty similar. Males being 63% 2003, 62% 2024. So a lot of data here. We'll go down to something that might be of interest. Moving traffic violations, those are going to be your speeding, your stop signs, things of those nature. Out of those 4,310 stops, 2,644, 61.35% were moving violations. Vehicle traffic violations, that's your registrations, your inspections, and when we have registration/inspection, which now doesn't exist, but your, tail lights, tint, things like that, and that was in the 38.35%. And again, those numbers were basically real similar to last year's, and it's what we've seen over and over again. Basically, the numbers are all the same. Go on to something of maybe. So was a search conducted? 97.82% of our stops, no search was conducted. Okay. So there were 94 stops where actually search was conducted, and it breaks those down, and the numbers are similar: 80% Hispanic, 15.96 white, 3% black, 0% the others. Probable cause searches, there were 54 of those, and again, the numbers, if I can find something here, it actually might be. Again, 75% Hispanic, 18.52% white. Goes on, contraband, but all those numbers are fairly insignificant numbers on there. Because we are doing what I don't know what you would call plain vanilla law enforcement. We don't have an interdiction unit. Where you would see more, this would show a little more, and it would give you some more analysis on searching, and that is if we had an interdiction unit on the interstate, which is very common, but we don't have that. Our officers, 99% of everything we're doing is just plain traffic tickets, speeding, that kind of stuff. So we don't have anybody out particularly doing interdiction, looking for drugs, looking for human smuggling. That's where you're going to have a lot higher search rates. That's why we don't have any search rates on there, because we're not searching a lot of vehicles. If you're on the interstate, you're going to be searching more for narcotics, human smuggling, things like that. So those numbers would be up. In fact, a person working the interstate, an interdiction officer, he's going to be searching a lot more vehicles. So your numbers go up a lot. But we don't, and ours hasn't really ever changed since we've been collecting the data. It's all basically the same. It just, the years change, but you could mix them up, and it really is not. I haven't seen anything that's very interesting. If you have any questions, to look at it, you really need to take a lot of time to look at it. I can't really reduce it down to just a few minutes, but really without looking at a whole series of years, it's hard to really say anything. But I'm interested if you have any questions. We do have a policy on racial profiling, of course, and it is on our website. This is on our website, along with back to 2017, and when they started requiring analysis. Maybe that was 2017. But prior to that, we just we collect the data, and it just gets shoved in there and it shoots out like that.
Do you ever get any questions, feedback, or anything from the folks that you send this to upstate?
No, they don't. They just do it as, what happened was when this was first passed, then everybody, there are areas where racial profiling has been a big problem, okay? And like most things, that's why when law enforcement takes advantage of something, laws are created to get their attention maybe. So you've got different parts of the state, and again, we're talking specifically people doing a lot of drug interdiction. A lot of drug interdiction was where it came from. Actually, a lot of it even out of state. So that's where this came from. So we don't really ever have anything with this issue because we're not. Really, it's pretty much, you don't really know the race of someone when you stop them for running a stop sign. Unless you happen to personally know the person. And which sometimes you may. But in general, you don't know the person, so you don't know when you're stopping them who the driver is. Right. But no, we don't have any issue with it. We put the data together, we throw it up there, and there is no right or wrong answer. There's no way you try to improve on it or do better next year or you did really good this year. It's just the data. Because I can't control. All you're trying to do is racial profiling shouldn't be a problem if you're just employing basic professional law enforcement. It's more for when people go off the rails a little bit, and that's where you have those problems. That's my take on it. I'm not giving you any.
The biggest thing you mentioned, Richie, is pretty consistent across.
Yeah,
so
it's
if
always.
There was anything that would highlight, hey, look, we've switched, but it's every year it's been pretty
basically
much
the same. Yeah. Now what? I'm sorry. What I was going to say is, if you would see numbers jump is in down the line. You get a grant, for interdiction, human smuggling, or something. You got people working the interstate, or you got people. Then you're going to see your numbers skewed. But until then, right now we've got our hands full just with regular, our traffic stops are all just regular, and again, not very much on the interstate highway, if any, this year. 22 stops on the interstate. And a percentage, and which, the officers have the authority to conduct enforcement throughout the city. I don't regulate where they go. Officers need to stop somebody on the interstate for committing a traffic violation. They stop them. I'm not. But we also get calls reckless drivers, and we wait for them, and that's where we stop them on the interstate. So that may be a variety of them because it's hard. They put that cable down the interstate now, and it's really hard to work the interstate. It's not safe. It's very. I was working just last week, and a reckless driver came through, and two vehicles, but they were such a high rate of speed. By the time Officer Lopez was in front of me, and we were by the bank, we couldn't have. I would have done 120 to catch him. Probably caught him up at South Park Mall, and then I would have wanted to go get some seafood, and it just would have went downhill. So anyway, that's.
I make the motion to go ahead and approve racial profiling that is presented as of today to February 24th, 2025.
Appreciate it. Have a second. I'll second. A second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Please. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, Richie. Thank you. All right, let's go ahead and move on to item number 9, and this is executive session. The City Council, City of Lytle, may convene an executive session in accordance to the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Section 551.071, consultation with the attorney to discuss and consider any of the following items. A, discussion concerning activities of EMC strategies for the City of Lytle. B, update on discussions on Lytle State Bank on investments held at bank. C, discussions concerning council members' absences. And D, discussion concerning pending litigation and civil citation filed with Atascosa County District Court. Paula, if you can actually go ahead and show us going into executive session. It is 7:35, and we'll go ahead and go to the back. And I don't think this one should be too long, but we'll still need to go ahead and meet. So, Council, Austin, if you can show us. Yes. I appreciate it. Thank you. 7 p.m., no action taken. Let's go ahead and move on to item number 10, discussion and possible action regarding matters discussed in executive session. 8, consideration and possible action concerning resolution number 25-15, a resolution of the City Council, City of Lytle, Texas, authorizing participation in the taxable investment pools and designated authorized representatives, incorporation of preamble, and providing an effective date.
Well, I'd like to make a motion on that. I move that we approve resolution 2515 as presented with today's effective date.
Okay, got it. Got a motion? Do I have a second?
A second.
Got a second? Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries forward. Thank you so much. All right, since we are right at the 8 o'clock time frame, let's go ahead and go on break. 10-minute break. It's 8:08. Okay. And I think, Paula, you got some goodies back there? All right, thank you. We got everybody. Let's go ahead and show us back, Paula. It's 8:23. And we'll go ahead and continue on with 11, the department reports, and we'll have Lynette go ahead and take care of Finance Director.
All right, Council, this is for January 2025. All our major general, the government funds came in really good. We are way above average on almost every one of our major funds that come in. I will tell you today that Zach and I were looking, and city sales tax jumped. It's not reflecting up here, but our normal's around 150,000. We're up to 208 as of this month. We had a huge increase, so I'm expecting a big difference in the next quarter. Oh, wait, I want to go back one more. Hang on. Go back. I did want to show y'all that we're 116,000 out on ad valorem. We are within a 5% collected, 10% collected of it, so we're doing really well. So the Atascosa and Loretta are doing wonderful over there. So. Court fines, we're a little bit under on that. As y'all can see, I put my keynotes in there now for y'all. We're at 39. We're at 41% budgeted. Richie and the group over there have been working a little bit more on the warrants and the collection, so hopefully we'll be seeing a little bit of increase here shortly. Animal control, we're a little behind on that. We are going to hopefully see some changes here shortly. Adoption fees are very low, and donations are not coming in as high as they were. For the library, pretty much right on schedule where they need to be. Just remember that big variance there at the bottom was where she got her grant from Atascosa. Water utilities, we billed $83,000. Our average has usually been around $70,000, so we are seeing the increases with the new homes that are coming over there. We're at 1,676 active or pending or new accounts that are coming in right now. Impact and acquisition fees are a little bit low. Zach and I were talking about that. We're starting to see more permits come in, so we're hoping that'll balance out in the next quarter. Stormwater fund, y'all hadn't seen that one before. This has been an interesting endeavor. So we billed out, what does that say, 13,000 right at? On 1,300 different accounts. Now remember, just because we have 1,600 accounts, not all those accounts are going to have a stormwater fee. For example, Michael's house or Michael's land. You know, if it doesn't have impervious, I won't be able to bill on it. This is a work in progress, so we're still going to see some errors in there. We're going to have to work through them as we go. So I probably put several hours on this a day going through it, but we're getting where we need to be. Do y'all have any questions so far on anything? I usually ask. No? Okay. Sewer fees, we have 1,002 accounts. The sewer revenues for the month came in at $39,000. Again, impact fees are low, but we're hoping we'll see those pick up as the permits start coming in. I put in the cash balances for you. I'm going to start doing this every month now that I've got everything a little bit better allocated out. That just kind of gives you a running balance of everything that you have in the bank with your CDs, your money markets, and your active cash accounts in there. If you ever have any questions, you can find me. Utility billing, the meter readings went really smooth this month. We had maybe 3 of them, and that I had to send Pete back out on. Everything went okay. So Pete is hoping to put out anywhere between 20 to 30 radio reads A week or a month, Pete? What are we doing?
A week.
Oh, okay. He's going to go high. So he wants to do 30 new radio reads a week, but that's including new homes. So if we can go at that route, in the next 8 months, we should be full radio read by the end of the year. Stormwater billing, up to date. You know, we do have some variances in there. We're working through them. All the late fees for due to the stormwater accounts and stuff were waived this month if any of your residents ask. I'm still working with Tyler on the excessive billing issues that we had where the credit cards were hitting inside and hitting like 2 and 3 times. The money got back to your residents, but it did not, the credit card feeds did not get back to the city. So I'm still having an argument going on with them, and they said that hopefully that will be resolved because that's several $1,000s. March vacations, Liza's going to be out between the 2nd and the 7th of March. She won't be here. Virginia will be taking some time off. She's going to be out Wednesday the 5th and then the 12th to the 14th. Finance-wise, audit is pretty much complete. We're wrapping up a few things. I was on the phone with them today. Hopefully the draft will be with us within the next week, and we will present it either the next council meeting or the follow. I don't have a confirmation on that yet.
The only thing with that, Lynette, is
yes,
once
sir.
again, as soon as we get it, we'll make sure that the department heads get
Absolutely. After it runs through Zach and I, after we have our meetings, we'll get it to you. Substantial hours were put in, not just by me, but by Liza and the girls, going through Atascosa CAD, Medina CAD, looking at different, we had the issues with the stormwater where the service address that was put in here didn't match what our engineers had on their side. So we had to do a lot of crossing, trying to figure out what property was really what property. So I do want to thank the girls. They helped me a ton on that. We had to, of course, set up everything in Encode with the interfunds and all the new accounts. That took a little bit of last month. And then Zach and I did a lot of hours on the investment review and planning and meetings and stuff that we had. Otherwise, it was normal day activities, reconciliations, and just daily problem solving. We're at our 6-month government fiscal here in March, so I'm going to hopefully have a 6-month update for y'all and kind of see where we're at. And then Zach and I will start budget prep in here shortly. It's already around the corner. And this year we will have a CIP budget to be approved with the normal budget. So we have some big changes coming up for 2026. Any questions?
So the credit card fee incident, that was one-time occurrence, it hasn't reoccurred?
No, I can't, it reoccurred for 3 weeks. So they resolved it.
Now they just have to...
Yeah, but it's not just our city. It's all over the United States. They're trying to figure out how to refund. Okay. So they asked us to put all the data. They asked us to put all the data together on what we have that went out, and so we went ahead because it has to do. There's an in-code fee, like if you pay online. There's also a chase fee. So I want them to reimburse the chase fee to us because that came out of our bank account, and also the in-code fee that went through the resident, which we paid as well. So yeah.
But it was just that one.
That one 3-week incident, yeah. Yeah, every time they would fix it, something else would happen. They were trying, but it just wasn't being fixed. But it was a bug on their end. But yes, sir.
If one of our residents doesn't have sewer and has septic, are they getting still charged for sewer?
They should not be. Nope. You should not have that. I would like to know what account that is and let me look it up, but they should not be. They will get charged a water fee, but there shouldn't be a sewer fee for that. Okay. We have several accounts like that.
Have they been charged for that for the last 20 years? Will they get a back pay on that?
So let me just, once again, just look into it. But just remember, here's the thing. If sewer is available, and the resident decides not to connect to that, and they go through a different option, that is different.
So we had another issue like that happened over in another.
Sewer was never available. So, but we can.
Is there a sewer connection there?
It all went to
I just have a ton of questions. I'd like you to come talk to Zach and I about it, or give me or at least call me and give me the address and let me do some research, please.
I will.
Please.
Right? And the only reason I say that is we have had that in the past. When I first started as a council member, it was brought up to our attention, and there was sewer. The resident decided to go ahead and put a septic on their own,
and that's the same account I'm talking about. So if he had the option to put that there, and there was a tapping fee and a sewer fee, a tapping fee and put in, I would really need to look into it, please. But yeah.
It's very important what you're saying there, because I know when I look into the district, my district that doesn't have sewer service, once it does get put in there, you're right. Even if you choose not to accept the sewage service or sewer service, you're still going to get billed.
Yeah, it's offered there. So, any other things?
It might be different.
Yeah.
Might be different from a previous experience, but that's just food for thought.
That's one thing I'll tell you. Virginia keeps very good records. So whatever was open and whatever was signed, I promise you we'll find it. So let me look it up. Just give me the address, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Next.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right.
Oh,
I got you.
I know you do.
This one. Oh, we have collected $350,950 in ad valorem taxes with a total of year-to-date $941,770. There has been no collection for license for wine and beer. For beer and wine. So we're still at $175 for the year. These are just my trainings or meetings that I had for the month. Mine is pretty simple. I don't have a lot to do on here on these events. But that's just the agenda for my month. We had a total request of one records request for year-to-date, just one. And this will be my agendas that were published, my minutes and ordinances and resolutions that we did for the month of January. That's about it. Mine's simple, short, and boring.
When you say the beer and wine licenses, you're saying new or renewed, right?
Correct, yes. Because she does the other one.
The number is the amount that we collected.
For the year.
Okay.
So far, 175.
Paula, can you add one slide for next time on
Sure.
there about your outreach?
Oh, yes. Will do.
So the council can always know when the next one is.
Yes, sir.
Anything else? I know I'm going to mention, but it's the 20th of March.
Yes.
Okay. We'll
Yes,
talk
sir.
about it. And stuff. Yeah, we got that.
All right, I'll blow through real quick. No change on our streets and sidewalks, sewer. The only thing here, we did finish the design for the 12-inch water main loop. We're actively bidding that project out right now, and anticipate trying to award that in March for whatever contractor comes back on that. And that one, of course, is the time-sensitive one with TxDOT, is a sidewalk project there. So, but that's really the only update on our water and sewer CO there. As far as residential development, nothing for the month of January as far as Saddle Ridge is concerned. No update from them. They're currently obviously building a few out in phase 5, as you see, 20 under construction. I will say that we have seen a little bit less crews just in general out at Saddle Ridge and Rosewood, and I think that's politically driven right now. You know, we're still seeing, we did on Rosewood, as you see here, we got 9 this last month that are under review. So Rosewood is again now starting to pick back up. So it kind of comes and goes between Saddle Ridge and Rosewood, who's, coming and going. So, but they don't sit very long. They get sold very, very quickly once they're done. As far as Lytle Farms, the only update I have is I did have a meeting with them on the changes that council made for in the utility ordinance regarding the use of their water, or the use of our water for their purpose of developing the subdivision. So had a conversation about that, and that's still kind of working out. But at that meeting, they did indicate that the subdivision construction portion should be completed by June. So that would be streets laid, water and sewers already in. I know our inspectors out there almost daily. working with them on all that. And of course, those costs are being paid back by the developer. So for our inspector out there. So that's all I have on that front. As far as permit data, you can see here applications received for January and then what was issued. Pretty standard what we're seeing across the board right now. Inspections for the month, down a little bit, but nothing, terrible there. 10 certificate of occupancy, obviously all the residential. The fire marshal one, as Chief had indicated at his report last meeting, the one CO that they issued, and then the certificate of compliance for the various other projects there. As far as court, Judge and I are working on associate judge contract as the associate judge decided to no longer, the current associate judge decided no longer to operate it as that. So we're working on getting a contract with some others that are interested in possibly doing it, and given the standards that council had communicated as far as costs and stuff like that. So trying to fit that in. And then I know this is January's report, but just as a FYI, Ashley and the judge were at some training today, I believe juvenile training. There's been a lot of changes on the juvenile stuff, so they went to go kind of get some more information on what we need to do and stuff like that. And of course the numbers, as you saw there. Really no change on the contracts. We took care of the fire department one last time, so that's all up to date now. Everything there, we're still pending some CPS, the billing issue with CPS, and that'll probably continue to remain. Nothing real new there. AT&T, it's not on here as an update, but I would like to note that I had a conversation with the owner of Frontera. I believe it was Thursday or Friday last week, and he kind of sent me some email exchanges and some heated conversations that he's had with AT&T because they're really digging their heels in and dragging, and so he's doing everything he can for us, and he literally, I was on a phone call where he laid into them. I was quite surprised. I've never seen John do that, but it was pretty bad. We're still trying to move. We're not paying anything, so no costs are coming out. But just wanted to let you know that that's still a work in progress. Yeah. So, as far as miscellaneous projects, you see all the meetings there for the month of January. Stormwater utility, obviously, as Lynette had indicated, billing has begun, and I'll actually be speaking this Friday with Kimley-Horn to start working on the master drainage plan. Obviously, if they're okay with the whole contract thing that we did tonight, and so hopefully we'll get started on that pretty soon. Text sidewalk project, as mentioned before, is pending, still out there. I had a conversation today waiting on Edwards, but looks like we have maybe some progress on that, so I'm hoping here in the next month. And I did talk to UWR about their contract for that project, and that probably will be on the next meeting, so we can get that going. And then RFP for audit services closes this Friday, so we'll see what we get back on that. Human resources, full-time library clerk. Cassandra has made an offer, or we're working on the final paperwork of all that, so get our full-time library clerk, and then the existing full-time will move down to part-time. That was at her request, so that's happening. Obviously, we're actively looking for public works foreman, and this, again, trying to find someone with the sewer license. And then as far as animal care and control, just to give you all an update on, I have not posted the job yet. I've had some initial conversation, and we'll continue to have that conversation this week with Melinda, who seems to be very interested in potentially taking the job. And so what I would like to potentially do is, maybe offer her truly an interim status and see how it goes. And then, if it works well, then council can decide, obviously, at that point as a director level position if they want to proceed with Melinda in that position. So just wanted to give you all an update on where we're at on that. And that's all I have, unless there's any questions.
Thanks, Zach.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate it. All right, let's go ahead and move on to item number 12, informational items, and I'll go ahead and get started here. So if we have anything, Paula.
We will have, since he was mentioned human resources, of the two positions, we should have one officer starting March 20th, which is when our work schedule starts, and then the second one, depending on his, shortly after. So, hopefully by the April 1st, we'll be fully staffed, or if not, within just a very short time.
Awesome. Pete, anything?
No, sir.
Okay, back there. Anything? Pass on. Cassandra. Austin.
Any luck on the stop signs yet?
I got the stop signs.
I think the poles.
We need the bases.
We need the bases. I got bases, but we're just waiting on the, what was it, Richie? The
breakaway deal?
No, the...
We'll have an ordinance on the next agenda so we can actually make it legit. The stop sign's legit.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
I know, because I keep on bugging them.
How many you need?
I think it's 5.
I think it's 5?
Yeah, 3 on one and then 2 on the other side.
So we got plenty of stop signs. So.
Yes.
Oh, good.
We finally got them.
I didn't think
We'll put some of those railroad ties there and just stick them on
Okay, a few things to communicate. First, I want to say thanks to Public Works for taking care of our water system during the cold weather. You guys did a great job. And then balancing out with everything that we had. So we really appreciate it. And we do have that clay valve maintenance that is coming up this week. So appreciate everything. And thank you. If you guys didn't notice, they took care of a few more on there. So little by little, we got less red on the map. So we're getting closer and closer. And I think he's probably going to take care of 2 more this week. So that's good. I want to say thanks to PG for investigating some significant cases. Matt, thank you for your involvement. Richie and all the guys looking at some of those. I know we'll get more details in the future, but appreciate all your efforts with that. Taking care of some major accidents here in the last. You guys have actually had to respond to a few of them, so appreciate that. And also helping out, especially in the middle of the night, looking at our water systems just to make sure with the cold weather that everything was doing what they're supposed to be doing. I want to say thanks to Animal Care and Control. They had a successful pantry day. It was a very cold day, I can tell you, being out there. But it worked out really good, and they keep getting a lot of their dogs and cats adopted, so that's a very good thing. So they're doing a good thing. Okay, rolling invite. Just in case you haven't seen it in the paper, this is with the data center that is going to be coming next Monday, the 3rd of March. This is at Lytle High School at 5 p.m., 5 to 7. Please get the word out. It's important for our residents to be there. They're going to have multiple stations where they can talk about the different aspects of the project and answer any questions, along with the announcement, what's going to happen out there with helping our coal mine residents too. So definitely be there. And if at all, they are going to have Chick-fil-A and they are going to have Mexican food truck out there with free food too. So please tell our folks to be out there so we get as many of the residents out there to get educated. I heard this morning that they're going to have approximately 18 of their staff members coming down. So it's a pretty large group of them that are going to be down here to make sure that they can talk to the residents and answer any questions and provide any insight. So please get the word out, send it out, make sure folks announce it at church and different places so we can help them out. I've heard the possible grand opening of the super convenience store in IHOP on the 4th of March. I still haven't seen the details, but apparently they want to do a grand opening now. They did a soft opening, and they're going to be doing a lot of giveaways. So as soon as we get that information, we'll send it out. I'll ask Richie also to use his sources. But that's the last thing. That's on the 4th of March. So they're going to do some kind of, come by, buy something, and enter a raffle, and it doesn't mean it could be either in the convenience store, it could be at the IHOP they're going to be doing some giveaways.
Pancakes.
I haven't seen the last, but it worked out really good. Actually, they recently did host we had one of our meetings, and they did a really good job for large groups. So if you ever need a contract, they will cater. They will take care of a large group of folks too on there. We got St. Patty's over across from the pub over at with the Peñas on the 15th of March. We have the outreach on the 20th of March.
Yes.
Paola. So this is a perfect opportunity. Are we going to have the food bank out there on this one? Okay. So we'll get more info, but this is where we have the actual local farmers out there with produce, and they get vouchers, and they can go get some of the local produce out there. And it gets pretty busy with that. We have the Music Fest on the 21st and the 22nd. I know Zach is going to be hosting a meeting this week. And just to let everybody know, on that Saturday, before the Music Fest, but kind of be part of it, we're going to have a car show out there in the park. So we're going to have a large group of people out there and have a DJ and all that stuff that goes along with that. So more to build on that one. And then the other portion of it is lots of activities, different discussions too. I want to say thanks to Richard. He's been working really hard with trying to take care of Mr. Cortez with the coal mine church. So there's a lot of different activities and talks that they're going to be doing. They're going to have a major fundraiser on the 5th of April. The information is out there. Perfect opportunity to go ahead and help them out as they take care of one of our historic buildings that's been here. And just so everybody knows, the coal mine was established in 1870. And I think the church, we're looking at 1880. 87. So that tells you the age of the church being there. And then the railroad came on in 1890. So it's been there for a long time. So a lot of historical information. Get you out there. You probably find all this stuff.
Yeah, so I was at their meeting last week. I was on remote, so I get considered that.
You're good.
Okay. So the bishop and the archdiocese, since it's been closed, my father-in-law has been the one that had it running for numerous years and had it going consistently. But then this little past few years, it hasn't had a lot of business there or church going on. So the archdiocese was actually bishop wanted to know from Father Anthony that if there's going to be any more, we need to know that the community is standing by it, and if not, either we have options we have to go by. And there was a few options there. So I told the community, this is your chance to do it, but it takes the community and it takes consistency. So we're going to try it again and try to keep it going, because it is a big history here in Lytle, and it's a beautiful thing, and it'd be nice to keep it going, and it'd still be like a once a month, and it'll be a later mass. So right now they're trying to get all the help they can, donations, and they're doing this barbecue sale. I think it's $15 a barbecue plate with brisket, sausage, rice and beans, and then raffle tickets for $2.
And that's on the 5th of April, right?
That's on the 5th of April, yes.
Cool.
It starts up, I think the raffle's at 3, so it's probably about 11 in the morning.
Well, just keep us informed.
I will.
Okay? But just for the council.
Anything about budget?
I haven't talked to him yet.
Okay.
I've been going.
It goes to them for a museum or whatever they're going to do.
Other things that are going on, we got new stores on Main. The Texarkana Boutique opened up this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. I think, is that right, Richie?
On Main Street?
Yeah, thanks. I know I turned something in for them to issue a certificate. I'm not sure if they did or not.
Upstairs and downstairs of the elevator.
So we got them, and then we have the Max and Mel's. Is that?
I don't know what that is yet.
Never seen it, don't know anything about it.
I mean, I heard Hezbollah has an online business, and that was where she was going to do something, but then you told me there's a sign up, and I saw it yesterday, so I hadn't made it over yet.
Where's that?
I'm hearing,
it's in the old tattoo parlor.
Oh, in the pink building?
I'm hearing it's like some sort of embroidery or something, with clothing. But just stay tuned. There's some moving around in that area right there in some of the buildings. Just stay tuned with that. Want to go ahead and put the plug. If you haven't heard, Chase Chance Mormon. He actually won at the San Antonio Stock Show Rodeo Bullfighters Freestyle Champ. So we've got the belt buckle, we've got 10 grand that went along with that. So recognized. So it was good publicity for Lytle. I did post a video. Somebody actually sent me a video of him actually out there, and utmost respect for what he actually does. But congratulations to him and the family too. We got baseball, softball, tennis, golf, track and field, everything going on. And then on this Wednesday, our private school, Pirate School Studios. We got the 2 documentaries and animation going to state. So we're hoping to hear some good news at the end of the day. It'll be a long day up at Austin, but the kids have done really, really good with that. Birthdays coming up. Okay, Austin. So we got Frank's. We got Frank's birthday coming up. It's on the 4th of March, okay?
Got it. I'll put it in order.
We'll be able to do that. And then a little bit later on in the month, we'll be able to take care of the net right around the corner, too. So we'll be able to do that one. All right?
Yeah, one update.
Yes.
This coming Tuesday, the solo and ensemble competitions for the band for UIL will be held here at Lytle for the Lytle students. And if they get a 1 in solo and ensemble, then they move on to the state.
And this is
this coming Tuesday.
So tomorrow?
At our I believe it's next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, okay.
I'll have to get back with it maybe tomorrow.
No sweat, but hey, that's competition.
Yes, they don't have a whole lot of folks, but they have the better students. And they bring judges in here rather than the kids going somewhere else to compete or be judged. They bring the judges into each school, and then if they get a 1 in solo or ensemble, then they go up and compete at state. And then if you don't compete against anybody else, you compete against yourself. If you get a 1 at state, then you get a 1.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's bad.
That is awesome. That is pretty cool. Pretty good stuff going around here. Anything else? Okay. And if we don't have anything, it is 8:54 p.m. right now, and can I have a motion for us to adjourn?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Got a motion? Got a second? Okay.
I'll third.
All those in favor? Any opposed? All right. Thank you for joining us. Good meeting. Catch up before 9.
I think that is
Good night.